Welcome to Insight Builder channel. How to get execution status in CrewAI. Demystify CrewAI callbacks in 10 minutes. That's what we are going to do next. If you are curious about the other videos, then you can look at my other videos in the playlist Agent and IDEs in the YouTube channel, Insight Builder YouTube channel. And also, if you are curious about how these agents are used in real life, you can take a look at the Executives New Edge series of videos that I have been updating on Windsurf. You can see that I recently updated how to do full stack development inside Markdown editor. Yeah, it's a fun thing that is happening. Well, let's come back to the topic at hand. The crews, the tasks, and agents. All three have callbacks. First, what's a callback? And before that, why use callbacks? Callbacks update the status or the completion of a particular activity inside a flow. Callbacks provide the text-based output, or even if you are much more adventurous, you can call the other applications also, other functions, other applications from the callback. Callback has been around in front-end development and back-end development for a long time. So as I was insisting again, agents are becoming the middleware and the IDEs are becoming the front-end. You will not believe this when I say that IDEs are the integrated development environments, or your terminal is becoming the front end. But that's a reality. So in the next video, I'll be showing you how that is the case. But I just want to give you a very brief introduction to one of the YouTube video crews that I built in less than 5 minutes. I was thinking about an idea. I wanted to give a topic to the searching tool, and that's what I'm running it right now. And the tool has to search, and the tool has to extract and give me 5 YouTube video channels. And believe me, it did exactly that. And you can build these kinds of agents and flows in no time. You don't need any kind of tool, you don't need to use any kind of UI, but you need to understand what exactly you want, and the necessary tools are already present. So as you can see here, as I'm explaining to you, it is searching the internet, it is searching how to use AI agents, and it is trying to work with the tools that I've already provided to it, and it is trying to come up with the final answer. So these kinds of process, so here it's actually going into a loop and it is trying to give me the final answer with the input queries. So these kinds of looping process and the output that you're trying to get is very, very important. So as you can see here, it took a considerable amount of time, and then it came up with the 5 different YouTube videos. And if you click any of these links, so I'll be sharing these links also. So this is something that I came up with, that the agents came up with, and it actually gave the final answer. The 5 YouTube video links, how to use the AI agents. The point I wanted to make is, it's pretty simple. The point I want to make further is that, yeah, individual parts of the flow or the crew or the agents are simple, but when you're going to create a kind of a chain which is much more complex like this, so if you're going to create more crews and you're going to put it into a flow, then you'll need the status in the middle. This is the purpose of using callbacks, right? Okay, now there are 2 callbacks. If you review the documentation, you will see that there is step callback and there is task callback. So what is the difference between these two? Step callback gives the output from the agents, and the task callback gives the output from the tasks. Task callback is much more granular, and step callback is little more at a higher level. when it comes to the details that it provides, because the idea is that each and every part of the crew is going to do its work and it has to give an output. Let us look at a code so that you will understand what's happening. Now I will run another one code right now. CLS. I'm going to go into, all this code is updated on the GitHub repo. I'll be sharing the GitHub repo links in the description below. So I'm going to go into recipe flow where I have the callback. I'm going to execute the callback trial. So that is callback_trial.python. That is the script that contains the callbacks. This script shows both the callbacks. It shows the step callback and the task callback. And you might be wondering, okay, how am I going to differentiate between both the callbacks? I'll be showing you that also. So you can see that it is executing it, and here, once the execution is happening, you can, in the middle, you can see that the task param type is tried to get printed out. This param type is what we are going to now see. So let us go back into the code. So this is the code, callback_trial, and I have created a couple of agents and couple of tasks here. You don't need to worry about the agents or the task. Our intention here is to think only about the callbacks, and callbacks are nothing but functions. I'm using Grok Gemma 2 9 billion IT model. That's much more easier and also faster. Grok is much more faster. I am using two different callbacks. One is on recipe complete callback. This on recipe complete callback is going to be used on the agents. I will actually show the difference between the agent and the task in this particular execution. When I now execute it, I have made this particular line number 88 and line number 76 to become a F string. So previously this was just showing that this line is getting executed. So why I was showing this is because to tell that whenever the crew is getting called, the on recipe complete function was getting called, and whenever a task is getting completed, the on task complete function is getting called. In order to make these calls happen, you have to go to the crew and you can initiate the step callback or task callback. So both the options are available. It's better to use one at a time. You don't need both. There are options available, but it's not that you have to use it. And on top of it, there is verbose. If you are when you are actually beginning to do the development, ensure that you understand the purpose of each of these parameters, because CrewAI and the framework that they have developed is really very elaborate. I mean, just recently, as I'm exploring both the Windsurf IDE and also the CrewAI agents and the overall ecosystem around the agents, I am seeing the reason why people are actually confused about agents, tools, and tasks. Believe me, there are lots of new jargons that has come into the picture. Be very specific about finding the purpose of each and every parameter. Be very specific. Try your level best to understand why the step callback is used, why the task callback is used. Okay, that is what my videos are always about, why something is being used. Well, here I am going to right now use the task callback again on the crew. I am going to use the test callback to function to call the crew. You don't need this way of doing it, but yeah, this is like how you have to write neat Python. So I'm using the if name underscore is equal to if dunder name is equal to dunder main. So then I will be calling the test callback. So the test callback will kick off the extraction crew, which is created here in line number 111. The extraction crew will get called. The extraction agent and the chef agent both will be used inside the crew. This is very important. You need to have these agents inside the crew if you want the step callback to work. If you don't have the agents, the step callback will not get called. You might be wondering that why it doesn't happen, but the crew doesn't know that there are extraction agents and chef agents if you don't include them. Yes, you will still think, okay, the tasks have the agents. So if you go up, you will see that the task has a chef agent. And if you go to the extraction task will have an extraction agent. But the crew is not having the information on this agent. So you can see that extraction task is having its own agent, right? These things comes by practice. You have to write the code. You have to go around testing it out. Even though the documentation is pretty elaborate, it's very difficult to provide all the different scenarios in a single page or a single full document. It becomes tedious, right? You have to watch these kinds of videos, and also you have to be very curious. So now let us execute. Again, the same code I'm going to execute, but this time you'll see that I will get the type of the object that is getting pushed into the callback. Why this is important is callback is kind of a sideline where you can take the output from the task or the crew, and then you can start processing it. So you can see that the task test parameter type, you can see that here, the task test parameter type is of CrewAI task.taskOutput object. You can see that printed here also. So I am using the task callback and I am getting the task output object, right? And how to know what is there in the task output, so that I will show you in a moment. But before that, let me execute the step callback, sorry. If I execute this right now you will see that instead of, okay, I think there might be an issue because I have not updated. Yeah, I have updated it. So here the recipe param type will actually provide the type of the recipe. So if I go back, here the execution has started and the execution is completing and it's almost there. If you scroll up, you will see, you'll see that it is AgentFinish. So last time it was task output and now it is AgentFinish. What I'm going to do now is, this is where Python enters. Python has something called as Inpect Module. So I'm going to say from inspect import get source. So this is what I'm going to do. Get source is a function inside the Inspect module that can actually provide you the source of a particular class or any of the Python objects like class, function, module, etc. So now I am going to say from CrewAI dot tasks dot, wait a second, so let me go back. I am going to go to the top and I am going to say CrewAI task output, and I am going to look at the task output class, correct? So task output import task output. So if you are wondering, okay, how am I getting those completions, that is because I'm using Windsurf inside LunarVim. And here you can see that it is already filling it up what I exactly want, but I think it's wrong. So I don't need this. So this, yeah, sometimes the completions are wrong. So you have to know what you're doing. So let me go back and you can see what I'm doing. I am actually looking at the output that I got from the AgentFinish. So agents parser AgentFinish parser import AgentFinish. Fine. So we have both of these classes. So let me go down, and before I even call the callbacks, right? So I'm not going to call the callbacks right now. So I'm going to just show you the data, show you the code of the task output, and I'm going to show you the AgentFinish code. So both of these things will print the code. So I'm going to remove this. So right now when I execute, you will not see the agent executing, only the output of both of the classes. So let me execute this. This is one of the benefits of working with pure write way of writing Pythons. So right now only those two print source will get executed. So give it a moment, and you can see that I'm getting the entire code of both the task output. So you can see the task output base model that is getting printed here, the entire class is getting printed here, and you can see that this class has these attributes. You can see that here, right? So these are the attributes that task output has got, and you can actually access to all of these things from the task output object that is getting pushed into the callback. Again, here is the AgentFinish. This is very simple. AgentFinish has got the thought, output, and the text. So you can extract all the thoughts, the outputs of the agent that it went through, and the text also. This is the benefit of working with callbacks. So when you are using the callback, you will see that, let me go up on task complete. So the first parameter that I'm using will be the task output if it is going to be task complete, task callback. And the recipe will be the AgentFinish class if I'm going to use it on a agent. These two things are very crucial to remember. Why? Because based on that only you can print the outputs, or you can modify the outputs. This is the next thing. You can modify the outputs of your agents and task. You can, after the entire work has been done by the agent or the task, you can go ahead and modify this value. You are still in control of the agent's memory location, and you can go ahead and change it with based on your requirement. The try experimenting with it, try practicing it, and see whether you are able to achieve what I'm trying to explain in English. This is pretty easy way of learning CrewAI. You have to go with certain intuition and see whether you're able to achieve it. So that's how I came across these things. So I believe that in this discussion you had some very good introduction to how the step callback and task callbacks are working, and why they are required, and how you can look at how you can access the parameters and the data or the attributes inside the parameters, and looked at how the get source of Inspect module in Python, how to use it, and how to understand the code inside CrewAI. I believe that this video has been pretty interesting, and it crossed 10 minutes, but you understood a lot more than that. With that said, practice. See you guys.